Alright guys, here we are, another video on Jeff's vehicle. We're doing the 160,000k service, and what I haven't done before is we're just going to run through quickly through a few of these items on the books. I'm not going to hold it there the whole time. If you want to look, you can go and look at yours. Every book's different, and you know, you got to check the back as well and all that, but it's going to quickly run through a few things where, you know, we're really at the Prada Hospital, we're quite different to what they might do at a Toyota dealer, because being, you know, manufactured by Toyota manufactured in Australia, and then dealerships, and you kind of got to do it, really you got to do it as per the book, you know, whatever. We're not a Toyota dealer, right? So we can do whatever we want, and I'll tell you, that's what we do whatever we want, right? And why do we do that? Because from working on these vehicles, and these vehicles only, we get to know them really well, and we get to know there's things that need doing that aren't on this piece of paper, and there's things on this piece of paper that we're going to have a giggle at. So let's go through it, and you might even change a little bit what you do servicing your own vehicle. This is a 160k. It doesn't mean it includes everything, but it doesn't mean it includes everything. What am I trying to say? Anyway, anyway, just gotta have a laugh. I don't know what I'm talking about, right? So here we are. And remember, it says for normal operating conditions, right? So there is severe condition, another area in the book that, you know, if you're using it under those conditions, things need to be checked and changed more often. So trying to keep it short, the 10-minute thing, hopefully less, but let's see. So just remember, usually here, I'm quite often working on my own. So we don't do a lot of services. We're doing a lot of fuel system specialist, injector replacement work, some other repairs. Mainly injectors is mainly what we do. We don't do much else. The other main thing we do is inspections now, because we can't do them all. So we direct you to the best recommended repairers, or we help educate you. If you choose to do it yourself, we provide the information to back you up with that, right? Or to help you decide the items you can do yourself or not. So you can be changing your oil, and you can bring it to us once a year for a full inspection, and we'll tell you what else needs doing, what next, and who can do it, type thing, you know. So you can shoot me a text message if you're interested in that. But for example, I'm just going to read through. Inspect external lights. Now, first thing about Toyotas and Prados, very rarely do the lights go out, and usually what happens with any vehicle, somebody notices before you get to your service. Oh yeah, I knew that headlight was out, or I knew that brake light was out, or someone told me, whatever. So if you've got a light out and you tell us about it, look, you can probably change it yourself. It's in the book, it tells you how to change your globes and stuff like that. So you might change it yourself. There is some precautions with headlight globes, don't touch them sort of thing, but this video isn't about that. Or you could bring it in, we may be able to change them, but we may or may not have the globe in stock, and that's the thing, because generally we don't change globes because they're not out. So we get in this habit of not changing them, and when you're on your own, it can be difficult to change lights. So I can't guarantee your lights are checked as part of my service. If you don't like that, you know what to do. Next one, inspect drive belts. Well, we're going to have a quick look, but we're not going to spend time on it, because it's not like that comment 20, 30 years ago was valid, because belts used to crack and deteriorate. It doesn't really happen with these belts. They stretch, and in this case, the 150k service has been done, the big front engine job, so we don't need to look at the belt, we know it's new. But we'll have a quick peek, but we're not going to spend time on it. I'm hoping to guide you through all these items so you know what needs to be done and what doesn't, okay? Now it says inspect cooling and heater system. Again, years ago, heater cores used to get blocked, heater taps used to leak and not work, vacuum lines used to fall off. There's all sorts of problems with climate control. Doesn't happen in these vehicles. Once again, you're owning and driving the vehicle. If your heater or your aircon's not working, you're going to come in saying, oh, the heater's not hot, or the aircon, and it doesn't happen because Toyotas. Now, this video is also going to demonstrate how bloody awesome these cars are, and if they were looked after right with the things they do need, which is what we're trying to tell you in our information, you're going to save a lot of money, and you're just not going to need to waste money on crap you don't need, and you can spend some of the money you've saved on a few things that you do need. Next one. Here it says in bold, they've got a lot of replacements. See, in bold, that's why we've circled them a little bit to go, yep, even though we don't need to because it's already in bold. But it's the next one, replace engine coolant. Well, for us, we don't need to do it because it got done at 150, okay? We bring the two together, the 150 and the 160 a little bit, and we do the coolant, you know, as part of the 150 to do that big front engine job. So no coolant for us. Inspect battery. Yeah, we're going to inspect the batteries. You should check the fluid levels. Precautionary here, you know, it's awesome if you can top them up evenly, if you need to top them up. Some batteries hard to access, some have got a sight glass. Often the sight glass doesn't mean anything. It can tell you it's good when it's bad, and it's bad when it's good. So don't really take reading to that too much. Quite often you can see through clear cases to see what the battery level's like, but as much as it seems to be a bit of a pain, I'm just going to swing over this way momentarily. These batteries every now and then, and it is a pain doing it every service, so probably every few services, because they're not usually down, you do actually need to take this bracket off, 210 mils, take that off, and this cover on this side of the battery, believe it or not, does flip up. You just get a little flat blade in there and just pop it up, and you'll have the holes there, just like, let's go back over this side quickly. It's not a check battery video, but you can see this one, much better for maintenance. I do prefer these, because you can easily see, remove and check the battery level, so I do prefer them. Those other ones over the other side, they do just leak anyway, you know what I mean? They do leak, so I don't think, oh yeah, you know, they're great, because they're not that exciting. Anyway, it's not a bloody movie on batteries, is it? So, replace engine air filter petrol models. Well, it's not a petrol, so moving on. Inspect air cleaner, filter diesel. Yes, you should inspect at every service, particularly if it's a four-wheel drive like a Prado or a Hilux, because it could be out in dust and dirt. So suss it out with the owner. If it's an on-roader, I don't recommend you even need to open the airbox, because you know it's clean. It got changed at 150. It was due on the 150. It got changed. It's clean in there. 160. If they haven't been off-road in dust, there's nothing going to be in there. So it's up to you what you want to do there. Inspect fuel tank cap, fuel lines connections, and fuel vapor control valve petrol models. Well, again, there's not much to see. You never see a problem, never have any problems, so you can go and inspect whatever you like. Inspect charcoal canister, you know, that should all be related under one heading there. Inspect fuel tank cap, fuel lines, connections, diesel models. Look, you know, petrol, diesel, whatever, you're inspecting the same thing. They're just trying to make the list look longer, right? There's not that much to check. At the end of this, we're going to tell you what to check. Watch our other videos on inspection, purchase inspection and stuff like that, and that's what to check. Everything we check on the Prados, and a lot of the Toyotas, very similar information to the Prados. Okay. Inspect brake pedal and parking brake. Well, yeah. There's a problem with the brakes again. You're going to tell us about it, but we do a road test usually before and after. So it depends how well we know the car, whether it's before and after or just after, or what if there's any other issues. Parking brake, yep. We've mentioned before. Ideally about 6 clicks, but if you're an off-roader, you don't want you want a bit more clearance so that dirt and mud doesn't act as sandpaper wearing those shoes down. Okay, in this one, drain brake fluid and fit refiller. So basically, at the end of the day, change the brake fluid, you know, so it's, you know, bleed, change, you know, so, you know, brake fluid out and bleed it through the whole system. Renew the brake fluid, okay, so brake fluid, bleed, whatever you want to call it. Inspect clutch fluid, hasn't got one. Inspect power steering fluid, you can see it through the clear container just over there. We've mentioned before, if it's got a bit of a slow leak, remember we talked about those boots and stuff like that, just give it a little top up, keep an eye on it. This one looks good. I'm not checking it, I'm mainly reading through this, right? Yeah, it's the long version, detailed, right? Clutch fluid, power steering, inspect steering wheel. Inspect steering wheel. No, I'm not inspecting steering wheels. Good luck to you, right? You want to wear out your steering wheel with your rough hands. You want to eat and drink and have sticky, dirty, grotty hands and spread it all over your steering wheel. You don't need me to tell you that, do you? I like clean up your act, wash your hands, clean your car. We prefer clean cars. If you don't like it, you know what to do. Anyway, inspect automatic transmission fluid. How are we going to do that? There's no dipstick. What are we meant to drain some out? Inspect it. I suppose it's a good thing to inspect it, but I can tell you already based on averages what they're going to be like, and it's probably worth having an interval of changing it every now and then. But anyway, we'll talk about that in other videos. Inspect manual transmission oil. Look, this is the way it works with diffs, manual, auto. Inspect the oil or the oil level, what they're talking about. If you haven't got a leak, generally the oil's not going anywhere. So if you look at a diff and you haven't touched it and it's clean and dry, there's no oil leaking anywhere, there's no need to remove a plug to check the level, because it's going to be right, okay? So, inspect accessory items. Okay, next line, inspect internal lights, horn, wipers and washers. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to muck around with anything inside in the car. If it's not working, you're going to tell me, and everything works. It's Toyota reliable, right? I hope general comment there. Inspect seatbelt, webbing, condition, buckle and retractor and all that. Look, if your seatbelts don't click in, again, you're going to tell me. I'm putting all this back to you. I'm going to have a look at your belt. I'm going to put the most worn one's going to be the driver's one. If we road test, put seatbelt on. If it works okay and it seems okay, no worries. The biggest issue I see is that feels sticky and grotty and dirty, and you know, the usual thing, the cleanliness. Maybe that's my problem, but anyway, clean it up. Inspect air conditioner, whatever. We're not going to check the aircon level. We never see problems, you know, I shouldn't say never, but we never see problems with aircon. We don't need to check any of that. Anyway, drain oil, we're going to oil and filter, of course. Inspect exhaust pipe mountings. Replace fuel filter diesel transfer. Yeah, so we of course replace that. We're not going through what we replaced really on this service, just to go through generally. Inspect steering linkage and steering gear. Yeah. Lubricate propeller shaft. Yep, definitely. Tighten propeller shaft bolts. Well, if they're already tight, how can you tighten them? We never see them come loose, so that's a bit ridiculous. But if someone's worked on the car, then you might want to check them, because, you know, people is the ones that, you know, mess these things up. Inspect drive shaft boots. Yep, we do that. Inspect suspension ball joint and dust covers. Yep. Front and rear diff oil. Yep. Inspect front and rear KDS suspension. Yeah, it's all inspect. So inspect everything, but there's nothing to see. This is the whole point. So there's a whole lot of inspect this and that. The main thing I wanted to convey across is, you know, some of these things, you know, how you need to check them, and you might be scratching your head. We've still got more on the back. That's just the front, won't be much longer. Inspect brake linings, drums, including parking brake lining and drums. Now, not every service, because we know those brake shoes don't really wear down too much, and it's not going to be life or death. If they were to wear metal to metal, it's not life or death. They're still going to work. It's going to make a scraping sound, whatever. That's never happened. They get checked often enough. We don't see them worn down. Never seen a worn down metal to metal. Probably my car's the worst one I've ever seen. There you go. So if you use it off-road, harsh, dirt, mud, bog hole, sand, beaches, all the rough stuff, that's where you're going to need to check it more often. Inspect brake pads and discs, all part of the service, of course. Replace the brake fluid. Inspect brake pipes and hoses, of course, but nothing to see there. Inspect tyres and inflation pressures. That's something that we've got to watch the tyres. We don't mess with tyre pressures, because people have got different tyres, different pressures. People that come to us are pretty fussy. They're usually all over their tyre pressures, and for that reason, we don't touch tyre pressures, okay? So that's your thing. If it's flat, it's only flat at the bottom. No, I'm just joking. If it's flat, we're going to tell you you might have a slow leak. We're going to inspect the tyre, try and find a nail, and that one will pump it up so it's about like the others. Rotate wheels and tyres, balance front wheels. There you go. I was talked about that in the other video, when to balance wheels, and it's even written there, rotate wheels and balance fronts. And if you want to know why, watch the other video. What was it called? What did I call that? When to balance the front wheels and service inspection. That's the video that was made directly before this. Where are we? Rotate. Then it's inspect valve clearance. Not happening. That is the biggest waste of time and money and risk of contamination you could possibly do. We know the valves don't go out. General comment. We check them when the injectors need to be replaced, and that's coming up soon, and I already tell you now, they won't be out. They won't be out. We'll check them though, they won't be out, and they'll stay sealed, no contamination, until next time they need replacement. It's coming soon, guys. This car, probably going to recommend it. It's a 14 full DLCs. It's sweet at the moment. I'm probably going to try and hold it off to about 200,000. I'm not here to sell stuff you don't need or do it before you do. I want to make it last, but I know the seats under the injectors were designed to be changed every 40,000. Okay, I know that. I know that they last usually up to over 200,000, but I know sometimes they can leak at 140, 160, 180, very rare. But you know, it's how far I want to push it. That's why we check the oil pickup when we do the oil. That's our free insurance, whatever. But soon, valve clearances, injectors, and all that will be getting done. Okay. Fill the engine oil, replace fuel filter, petrol models, inspect water sediment accumulator. You know, you can check your diesel filter. Let's have a look over there. It's gone missing. It's gone AWOL. Another video. That's another video, guys. I'll tell you about that on another video. So subscribe, turn the bell on. Fuel filter, petrol, inspect water. So what I was saying, you can inspect the water. I've never found water inspecting for water. We inspected this one. Was there any water? No. But we're going to go and have a look in the container, and that's why it's another video, because I'm going to show you what we're doing, what we do with diesel fuel filters every now and then on that major service. What else? Check fluid levels. That's your brake fluid over here, you know, over this one, but we just changed it. Your battery, your coolant, your power steering and all that, which is stuff we already talked about. So it says check fluid levels. So of course your wash bottle over here is one that can get forgotten. We might forget it and we might leave it for you to do, and you might use too much water and run out anyway. So you need to know how to pour water into a washer bottle. Practice that one. It's just here. Okay, final inspection, of course, that's kind of like what we're doing now when we make a video. Final inspection, we're going to inspect diesel smoke, and that's whether you've got filters or MAP sensors blocked will cause that. Over here at this side, there's your MAP sensor just there, or of course your worn flogged injectors on a diesel. So final inspection, inspect diesel smoke on road test vehicle. That's it, guys. That's what we check. That's the reasons why we do and don't check things. I hope you like it. I hope it's helped you with, you know, things you need to check. You're not going to see much. The things you need to look for are the things we show in our other inspection videos. Hope you like this one. Please give us a thumbs up. You know, that like thing there. Click. And please, if you haven't already, turn the subscribe on, the bell on. We've got more awesome information coming your way. Thanks for watching. See ya. Sorry I talked too much. 15
No, I
minutes.
was going to
Bugger.
say...